Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil. And today we're going to be talking about 7 characters who want a lot more speed than you realize. So go ahead guys, hit that like button, subscribe for more content like this, let me know your thoughts. I'm really excited to share these with you. Hopefully these are characters you haven't thought of before. So let's get in here. Alright, so let's kick off this list and start thinking about which teams, right? Like, I guess to get you in the mindset here. A lot of times there are characters that everybody makes fast, but there's another character on that team who also wants speed, and that's kind of where I've devised this list. So we're going to go ahead and get started with Zorii Bliss. Everybody loves to talk about having a fast resistance hero, Finn. But Zorii needs a lot of speed too. She wants to be fast because what makes the resistance team so dangerous is getting her rolling. When Zorii starts taking turns, that battle goes south very, very quickly. She's got a lot of good mechanics to follow up right after resistance hero Finn. So a big thing you can do is make your Zorii fast. A lot of people, I think, are getting caught in this trap of, oh, well, before she was Relic, I had just kind of random mods on her. Yes, like I understand that before Relics, you can't get her quite as fast. But once you get her Relics, you really want to make sure that she's fast. Like, I want even more speed than what's on mine. I only have her at like 308, which is still plus 138 speed. And just kind of for a frame of reference, whenever you see anything that's like anything above plus 132, right? The reason you'll want to aim for anything above plus 132 is because you get 32 speed from your arrow, right? If you're using a speed primary arrow, you get 32 speed, which means that you're getting 100 speed from the rest of your mods. Now, if you're using a speed set, you probably want to aim faster than that because you're getting a speed boost like I am with Zorii. But if you're at plus 132 speed on a mod set and it's not speed set, that means that you're averaging 20 speed per mod. As you can see, I'm not doing that with Zorii, and I'm getting a lot of boost from the speed set itself. But that's just kind of a reference point to use. But she does want speed. You need her to go quick. That way you can get that turn meter train going with the resistance team. And honestly, like having her fast as well can scare certain other counters away, right? Having a fast Finn alone can scare a counter like Imperial Troopers away because you get that first play out of the way and they happen to target, you know, your Dark Trooper or Piet or somebody and they get some plays out there. It can spell disaster. So yes, you want him fast, but if she is fast too, you can even stop some other counters from happening because she'll get those turns out. Another great one similarly to Zorii is Tech. Everybody loves to talk about having a fast Echo and Echo needs all this speed. But if Tech isn't fast enough to follow up your Echo, it can spell disaster for a lot of counters. One of the reasons why a lot of people don't run a fast Tech is because they only use this team against ones that start with heavy buffs. Because you use the Never Any Doubt ability with Echo, he's going to rip all the buffs off the other team, and Bad Batch allies gain 5% turn meter. But if you're going up against a team that doesn't have a lot of buffs at the start, you need your Tech to be fast. So again, this character, he just happens to be 138 like Zorii. He's pretty slow, to be honest. I really wish I could get more speed on him. Unfortunately, I'm kind of stuck with his mods the way they are because of the speed of Marauder compared to my Jedi Knight Anakin. It's a mess. Please just, I hate it, right? Like I've tried to like slice mods and it's a disaster. I hate it. But all that said, you know, he is somebody that you do want more speed on. And even me at like 298 speed is still faster than a lot of other players that I've seen. And again, it's not that you need this in every single fight you ever do, but there are times where having a fast Tech will make the difference between you bridging that gap between Echo and going before the fastest character on the enemy team. It's unfortunately the Bad Batch and even this Resistance team are both teams that they're very reliant on kind of getting a train going. That similar to, again, Imperial Troopers be another great example here, where if you don't get that train started right away, it spells disaster for the team. And it's funny we mention Imperial Troopers because they're the next team on this list. Everybody loves to talk about having a fast Moff Gideon and a fast Piet, and you guys know, one, I do not think you need Moff Gideon for this team. But two, Gideon is also a crutch for people. So the biggest advice I have for you is that you need a bridge. And a bridge is, hey, Piet moves first, gives everybody turn meter because he took a turn with the, gained Emperor's Trap, and then he gives his offense up to everybody. You need a bridge, and that bridge is, hey, this character is going to go next and give our team enough turn meter to start that turn meter train and get all of our plays out. So that's why I have Colonel Stark here in Range Trooper, because for some people you would use Range Trooper or Colonel Stark is that fastest if you don't have Gideon. But I've also got Dark Trooper here. And this is one that I think people don't recognize as much. And I say, like, hey, you don't need crazy speed on Dark Trooper, and that's pretty factual. But you do need enough speed on either him or Veers because of 3v3. Think about for 3v3, most people use Veers, Piet, and Dark Trooper as their 3v3 Imperial Trooper team. Well, you need a bridge to go after Piet in order to get that train started. And realistically, I like using Dark Trooper for that because you can use his Perfect Soldiers where you gain turn meter for each stack. So it allows you to jumpstart that turn meter a lot more. But you absolutely need some speed on that second fastest Imperial Trooper, especially if you don't have Moff Gideon. And I think that's why a lot of people use Moff Gideon. They go farm him. He's kind of a crutch for this team. But think for a lot of us now with, oops, my cat just pressed some button here. Of course she kicked me out of that. Nim, come on, honey. If you guys are wondering where Nim is, she's like literally right here. She sits behind my laptops. But all that said, Moff Gideon is that guy that he goes with that Imperial Remnant team, right? He goes over with Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. And so because of that, you need another Imperial Trooper to kind of bridge that gap, and it's got to be one of these guys here because they're kind of your next fast options. So have a bridge, make sure you've got speed on them so that way you're not getting caught out by other teams. The only solo character on this list happens to be Han Solo. Yeah, Han Solo absolutely wants speed, and there's a couple of reasons behind this. So back in the day, the reason you wanted a faster Han Solo was it made the CLS mirror match a lot easier. You were able to stun the enemy Chewbacca or Chewpio, depending on where you were going after them. But you could stun the enemy Chewbacca, which would limit the assist he was gaining, and then you could just hammer him down, right? So having that faster Han Solo made a big difference there because you think your Han Solo would get the assist from Chewbacca, whereas theirs would not because he would be stunned. But more, I'd say more realistically, having a fast Han Solo, remember, he's going to take the first turn no matter what. It's a bonus turn. Han shoots first. Han will always go first. The only time he doesn't go first is if the enemy Han Solo is faster. But he shoots first. And think about this particularly in 3v3 when you're going to use him in a team where he's probably going to be the fastest. If he goes first, and then he's also the fastest character, he can use his special right here where he can stun the target enemy and he's going to gain turn meter equal to his critical chance. Well, everybody's Han will probably have enough critical chance, right? Like over 100%. So then he gets to use his basic. So at the start of the battle, right, from the start of the battle, the first 3 turns were taken by Han Solo. You can I've devastated teams because I take 3 immediate turns with Han Solo. Having a lot of speed on him is crucial. Particularly, I'd say, in 3v3, but also even in 5v5, having him take a lot of those early turns is so incredibly important, particularly like going after like General Skywalker. Being able to get a bunch of turns out with Han Solo early can make that difference between you getting General Skywalker to take a nap like really quickly with enough, like if you can get him to take a nap just after Han Solo's turns, you still have Chewbacca and Chewpio and C-3PO's turns. It's crazy, right? I don't want to say it's crazy, but it's a really, really good way to go about that battle. So a fast Han Solo, absolutely worth it. Next characters is Fennec. So the usual suspects are Bossk and Greef. Everybody loves to have those guys at, really, really fast. But not enough people run a fast Fennec. The reason fast Fennec is important is because of that Lord Vader counter that everybody loves to give her so much credit for. If she doesn't take enough turns, Lord Vader will lap her and he'll get 2 back-to-back turns. And especially depending on some of the Datacron sets, that can devastate Fennec. So you need her to have enough speed that she's at least going to be able to keep up in some way with Lord Vader, that you don't really want him getting... You don't want him taking multiple times where he's getting a bunch of turns in front of her, right? Um, the other reason you want her to be quick, like why you can put a little bit more speed on her, is because she has armor shred here. And I know that all of you sit there and you're like, oh, well, armor shred doesn't mean as much, when you keep applying it. But it's still significant. Like, even after 4 armor shreds, if that character started at just 100 defense, and you take 25% away, and you hit them with 4 armor shreds, they're down to 56 armor. If you do 2 more, they go down to 31. So, with Fennec, the one thing you can do is trade a little bit of offense on her for that speed, because if she doesn't take turns, she's dead in the water anyway. And just equipping that armor shred eventually can make up for her lack of offense. Now, I'm not saying you mod her for 0 offense, but the situation I would use here is this mod has 2% offense, right? And if I was to go here and just say I'm gonna filter onto Dark Troopers, right? So, like, I'm not willing to trade 11 speed for 4% additional offense on her. I'd rather have that speed. That speed is incredibly important to her, because without it, she won't get enough turns and you'll go downhill fast, right? So, absolutely need that. Now, sticking to that counter, you want a fast Thrawn. This can 100% throw off that bounty hunter counter in multiple ways. Number one, if he goes and fractures your Beskar armor Mando, and Maul deletes Fennec, I mean, that's game, set, match right there, right? That is game over. But I've also seen it where he can fracture OG Mando. And fracturing OG Mando is also problematic in that 5v5 setting, because by fracturing OG Mando, you don't get that insta-kill off, which means you're kind of stuck hitting Royal Guard or somebody else. You don't get as many of those early kills out of the way. And that can be really problematic, because then Lord Vader hits ultimate, he's gained more mastery, and then he can potentially kill your Mando before he even takes a turn. So, fast Thrawn in that setting is really good. But outside of Lord Vader, being able to pass those turns around really quickly is massive. Or getting an early fracture on somebody can make your teams so much better. Like, think about like having a fast Thrawn with Darth Vader. Going in with Darth Vader, you're trying to solo a team. Having a fast Thrawn can make sure that Darth Vader gets to take another turn, right? It's, hey, he's going to swap turn meter with Vader. Vader gets to take that immediate turn and just keep rolling, keep dealing damage. So Thrawn, incredibly important to have fast for these instances where you need those additional turns or trying to stop people from countering you. Thrawn, really good. Finally, Starkiller. Oh yeah, Mara Jade's fast, but Starkiller also needs speed. Number one reason he needs speed is those instances where you lose Palpatine, and it will happen more often than you think at times. You lose Palpatine, he's not assisting anymore. So the only way he's going to deal damage is on his speed. But the other reason why him having speed is really important is for when you get down towards the end of the fight, there's not as many characters for the Empire, for like your Mara Jade and Palpatine to be gaining turn meter for. Getting Starkiller to take turns during that is incredibly important, particularly when it's just Jedi training Rey left. She's ramped her mastery and she's dodging everything. This is why this Omicron is one of the most underrated Omicrons. So you need a fast Starkiller to pull this off, but you use Boundless Force Throw, where while unleashed, dispel all debuffs on all allies. The buff immunity and healing immunity can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. So you can inflict that healing immunity for 2 turns. And this attack can't be evaded. So you hit Rey, you hit her with healing immunity. Now she can't heal when she dodges. And then next turn you can use the Force Repulse ability, which also can't be evaded. So you get 2 turns as long as you're fast enough, right, that you can get ahead of JTR. You get 2 turns where she has healing immunity and you can deal damage to her. And oftentimes, especially if the GAC has gone on a little bit, you'll be able to kill her like turn 1, turn 2, and she's dead. And again, you do need the Omicron, at least on this one. This is a very underrated Omicron. Force Repulse is also really nice, as it'll help you deal more damage. But this one is really important to kill Jedi training Rey, and you want a fast Starkiller, because if he's not fast enough, she can shake off the healing immunity, she gains all that health and protection back, and you time out. So that's the list, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. Again, like, subscribe, comment. I love you all. May the Force be with you. And if you're still watching right now, Go ahead in the comments and put down there that Manchester United is absolute poverty. Chelsea, aka Cole Palmer, absolutely owning that entire team yesterday. What a match. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, my friends.